you go. Before I finish, though, who wants to see the best bear drawing ever? There you go. It's happening. History. This will be an NFT someday. People will pay at least 3 bitcoins. Oh god. Oh dear. Why do I always stumble on the heads? Ah, I've got a big chunky head. Hello. Oh no. Oh god, his neck goes into his chin. He's ruined it. He's ruined it. Hang on. The fine detail. Taking time like it matters. You know? There we go. He's very... He's got his hands on his hips. Okay, that looks like a frog. I'm going to be honest. That's the worst one we've done in a while. Quickly, get this off the screen. There we go. Next. Ridiculous. Wait, it's the same... Do you have a different dinosaur, please? New drawing, B. Oh wait, next drawing, A. Wait. Is that because I didn't finish it? Oh my god. I'm here for the fossils, man. Speedrun. Missed them again. It's fine. Back here we go. Look at that foot. A hoof. A wonderful looking hoof. This is so relaxing. I feel like I'm going to buy a colouring book. Okay, continue. There we go. This is a drawing by Klaus. Klauso.
It was one of the most exciting days in my life. When I was 8, I found my first fossil.
Found a fossil when I was a kid and it was exciting. We used to go like get them in Lyme Regis and stuff. You can find them on the beach, like in the old cliff sides and stuff. Go looking for them. But they're just like those kind of shell ones. They're not like, it's not like you're finding a T-Rex skull or something, but it's cool. Yeah, I'll go fossiling, Dad. Oh my god, maybe I am a dinosaur nerd. Ah. Do I have legs? No legs. Wait. No, no legs. Is that the school bus? Why is the school bus picking me up from the river? Do I live here?
I lost it half a year later. At the age of 14, nearly all I could think about was putting together and painting dinosaur models. I was getting better at it.
This is a cute intro.
This one comes with a manual. It's dead simple.
Mm-hmm. That's what they say about IKEA, but I'm still there struggling hours into the thing, you know? I'm very bad at DIY. Anything that is like putting something together or kind of visual based like that. I don't know what you'd call that, but anything that is like that. And following instructions, especially ones that don't have words and they're just pictures. I can't wrap my head around it. Dinosaurs on Mars. Let's play that game. Where's this go? Oh, it's your head. He's a mad scientist. He put the head where the foot's meant to be. It's the Isle of Dr. Moreau.
This one's tougher. There's no manual, but I have the sketch at least.
Okay. A Stegosaurus. Which leg is it? Oh wait, I can rotate you. Ah, there we go. Okay, that makes more sense. I tell you what, a Stegosaurus got some thighs on it, isn't it? Alright, go rotate back around that way. There we go. Thickosaurus. Another little leg there. Pop your head on. No, that's your tail. No, that's not. What is this? It's a foot. Okay. He's got a foot for a head. Who put this thing together? Beautiful. Oh, is this a T-Rex?
Now's the time for the real fun. No manuals, no sketches, just sheer knowledge and skill.
Let's do it, I'm ready. Ready to graduate. Oh my god! It's just balls. Okay, like a jigsaw. We'll start with the thing. I kind of feel a little cheaty that I can just scroll over them and they just go green. But we'd be here all day if we couldn't do that, let's be honest. That is a leg bit, isn't it? Rotate. There we go. Chicken feet. You can really see, when you're aware of it, right, how they became birds, how they evolved into birds and stuff. When you see birds, especially like big birds in real life, dinosaur, absolute dinosaur. There we go.
Maybe I could use more practice and build one of them again. Let's see. What difficulty level should I go with this time?
No, you're good. You did great, dude. Don't worry about rebuilding them or anything. It's fine.
I even won a local talent show once. They loved my Triceratops.
Okay.
A
Benjamin.
couple of years later, the money I had received as a reward in that competition turned out to be of an invaluable help.
How much was this prize money?
Adventure of a lifetime in your 20s? Well, I think it's possible.
You won enough money for that with that competition?
I was exactly 20 years old when I found an article about a paleontological group in a newspaper. Turned out they needed volunteers who were willing to work in the north of the country. It was a long shot, but I didn't want to miss such a great opportunity. I took a risk and signed up for the job.
Stuff like that's pretty crazy. You think
off.
about random things that you did that changed the entire trajectory of your life, you know? Whether it was a job opportunity, some adventure you went on, somewhere you went one night and met someone, just all of these things that lead you to where you are or where you've been, the path you're on. It's kind of nuts. Kind of nuts, so. Am I going in here? Nope. Nope. I don't need no tutorial. I know how to drive. Excavation area. Can I move the camera out? What is... This is so close and ugly. Okay, there we go. Obstacles. It's fine. It said something about removing obstacles there, didn't it? God damn it! I should have read the tutorial. There's gotta be some equipment back here. No? What do I do with a log? Tutorial, help. I'm sorry, come back. I regret everything. Open the tablet. Select destination. Use your chainsaw to remove the tree trunk. Okay, there we go. See, I knew I didn't need that tutorial. It's fine. Must be in here. Oh, it's already down there. Hey, I had that ready to go, didn't I? I had that on my belt. Just in case we see any hitchhikers out here. Make some pies. Oh, is that it? Ooh. American Psycho. Okay. Maybe it is more. Ah, so satisfying. I love games where you get to cut trees. I don't know why. I must have been a lumberjack in a former life because it is just so satisfying to me. It pleases my soul. Like, my favorite thing about the forest is just axing trees down. Yep. The life of a paleontologist. Exotic, dramatic, filled with action. This is Ross Geller, the game. There we go. Get a better thing. Going through the mud. Slimy mud ahead of you. Press B to lock the differential to make your way through. That's very good advice when driving through slimy mud, actually, from an experienced driver. To lock the differential. It's very good advice. There we go. Made it through. Use a hammer to remove the stone. A car is a lot like a hammer. No. Not good enough. Play Lumberjack's Dynasty. Is it actually good? Oh, wait, it's already in your pocket. How big are these pockets of mine? That's the real question. Smash the stone into smaller pieces. Ow, 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 ow. This very dramatic music. I feel like I'm Batman on the way to the Batcave. Okay, excavation area down here. Cool. I wonder if that is it, or if that's just a random vehicle. You're close to the site. Park your car in the designated spot and set up a tent. Okay. Nice. This doesn't look as in-depth, but I will say one sort of budget simulator game that I played previously that I actually really got into was Gold Rush. There's a Gold Rush game, and I'd never even seen the show. But the simulator game was, for whatever reason, surprisingly engaging. And I really liked it. Just panning for gold and then getting equipment and digging. It was good. Okay, what's next? Excavation. Searching for stones. In the excavation area, use the GPR to find the stones hidden underground. Place flags to mark their position. Dig in the soil and sand with a shovel. Okay. Use the pickaxe to search the rocky ground. Pay attention to the color of the cursor. Visual inspection at this stage will help you identify stones of other geologic periods. Welcome to the campsite. Crate pallets. Okay. So my thing is here. We are scanning. I used to really like using a metal detector as a kid as well, actually. I had one when I was young. And you just like walk around on the beach or something. Get the little beep, 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 beep. Have a little dig around. It's satisfying. it sort of scratches the same itch as like what you would get from opening a loot box in today's world, when you're like, what am I gonna get? Is this thing on? Where's the right area? Find a good place for exploration. I mean, this is a big dig site. Maybe it's over here somewhere. This dirt looks a little different. Bow, bow. Where are you? I don't believe this is scanning. But we're going to keep going. Oh! It did a thing. Are we in the right area? Wait. I'm just not picking anything up. So I guess I'll flag that. There we go. Red flag. Laura, thank you so much. 2 years. Happy anniversary. Another anniversary today. And a tier to a Super Bear Island. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Wet socks. Thank you so much. Hope you're doing awesome. Thank you for 2 years. So now if I take my shovel out, can I have a dig? Let's see what we find. I don't think that was anything. Alright, let's see if it shows up. It had like an image on there, right? When we were in the right place on the video. But I don't see anything here. What's everyone's favorite dinosaur? Da-dun-da-dun. Oh! Ah, there we go. This looks a bit more sort of scanny, doesn't it? I can remember as a kid, like I mean a little kid. Ah, look, we got something. Reading a dinosaur book, and I think, what is its name? Like Allosaurus or something, which is like bigger than a T-Rex. I remember reading that and being like, that's now my favorite. Because it's bigger than the T-Rex, and everyone always says the T-Rex is their favourite, but actually the Allosaurus is biggest. Just because of that one fact that I knew, I was like, oh, that's now a thing that I know, so that's my favourite thing. But it never really was my favourite. Let's see, where was this thing? It's right under us. There we go.
Look at us. Huh? Who would have thought? Not me.
Look at us. Ask Your Doctor coming in with the 52 months. Thank you so much for the amazing support for 52 and a tier 3 benefactor of Bear Island. I appreciate you so much. Hope you're doing awesome. Thank you. We've struck gold. Uninspected. Oh wait, do I pick this up? Ah, yes. Perform a visual inspection. Right. This stone is from another period. Looks like it could be late Cretaceous to me, I reckons. Perform a visual inspection to find out what bones you discovered and what species they belong to. What bones? Do I smash this open? Keep digging. Check the scanneroo. Oh, I'm stuck in a hole. There we go. You found an interesting rock formation. Mark the spot. Okay, the spot is marked. Okay, so it's not there. That's too far. There we go. So it's digging in the middle here with a chainsaw apparently. They won't let me. Take these out. Feel like I'm back in Worm Online. Moving dirt. I don't want to... Oh, for goodness sake. There we go. Can I use this thing? A lot easier. Me on my first day just smashing all the fossils up. Get him out of there. Can't dig here. Maybe the pickaxe. He's got it. He's cracked it. Yes. Yes. We'll find you, little rock. Oh, fossil inspection. The way the music cuts out. Fossils emit small amounts of radiation. This allows to use a Giga counter to search for the investigates to dinosaur bones. Had a stroke. Use a trowel to remove mud from the stone. Prepare it for plastering. After removing the mud, do a visual inspection of the stone again and find out what species you discovered. Small stones done in your hands, large stones with a Giga counter. Geiger. Okay, so it's radiation, trowel, identification. Alright. So, let's have a look. Get in amongst it here. Remove the muck from the stone with the trowel. Bam. Okay. And then have a little look. Oh, with this thing. Right? There's no bone in this rock. Plaster to protect fragile... Am I going to have to remember all of this? Because it's not going to happen if I have to remember the process of my own brain. Use plaster to protect fragile fossils. Place the plastered stone in a shipping crate. The small crate can be retrieved. Place the boxes with the fossils in your car. Transport them to the hub. Okay. At the hub, park your vehicle in the designated space to safely... yawn contagious, you all just yawned. Move it, the crates, walk up to them, press the indicated button. Okay. Here we go. More trowel action then. Clean it. No. So there was no bone in this, but it wants me to put it in a box. How do I get out of here? Oh god. That rock's empty. Okay, so we've got to find one that does have stuff in, I think. This stone is from another period altogether. I know, isn't it the worst when you actually are so tired you can't stop yawning? I was recording something last night, and it was something where I was reading a lot, and I could not stop yawning. And I had to stop in the end. I was like, no, this is like... too much. So tired. Okay, another one. Remove the muck. Was anybody else, you know when you find out when you're a kid that yawning doesn't mean that you're bored, it just means there's a lack of oxygen to the brain, and then you would take great pleasure in telling your teacher that when they were like, oh, does my class bore you? And you were like, actually, miss. Or was that just me? Was that just me being annoying? No bone in this rock. I feel like I'm looking for a bone. I don't know. Let me dig these out. No. Get him. Moki Moe, thank you so much for the sub. Welcome to Bear Island. Appreciate the support. Thank you so much. Aha. Trowel. Dig away at that one. That looks like a little bone. There are fossils in this stone. Clean up the mud with a trowel. It's been done. plaster it. Preserve it. You got a message. Check it out on your tablet. Once you're done with extracting and securing your findings with plaster, put them in boxes and use the car to transport them to the hub. Okay, let's just check if there's a bone in here first. Got any bones? No. Okay, so we're just going to take this one. If I can get out of here. Pretty scary to be out here on your own. Gonna have an 127 hours situation on our hands. Drop that there for a second and get a pallet. So strong. Look at me. Plonk. Perfectly safe. Perfectly splendid. There we go. Pop that in there. Ready to get it home. Fossils are kind of big money in some places, right? I think a T-Rex skull is worth like hundreds of thousands. But there are laws in certain places. I think in, Canada, if you find fossils on your land, like if you found a T-Rex skull on your land, technically it just belongs to the government/museum straight away. You don't actually get to sell it or anything. Just like, hey man. Hey Canada. Thought you were nice, you know. Let people sell their skulls, but apparently not. I think it's Canada. Oh, oopsie. Let's get back. You guys watching any good shows the last couple of weeks? Any good stuff come out? Okay. I did get around to watching Moon Knight recently, which I enjoyed. Can't believe it was only 6 episodes though. Oh, was I meant to find 3 things? Was I meant to... I think I was meant to bring those ones that were just rocks, actually. Oops. Oops. Back we go. It's first day on the job, it's fine. Mistakes happen. Oh, Severance, you should definitely watch. That's like my show of the year. Love Severance. Oh yeah, Better Call Saul. I just started watching it. It's finally back. Oh, did Under the Banner of Heaven come out? Wait, what button was the differential? X or something? B, I think. Doo-doo-doo. Snowpiercer is good. I like what they did with that show. Oh, The Leftovers is so good though, but it is very, very emotional. What a depressing show, honestly. In a very dark way. A very sort of... It's not like depressing in the way that stuff is like, oh, it's a tearjerker, it'll make you cry. It's just overwhelmingly bleak. But I love it. Let me try this again. Let's go get those other rocks we found. They were just over here, weren't they? Da, da, da. Can I take you there? There we go. Perform a visual inspection. The rock is empty, but does it want it? I don't know. There was 3 spaces there. A new show on Netflix called The Sound of Magic. I think it's Korean, looks so good. I feel like these are the fossily ones, right? Let's move them. It did those 4 episodes out. Cool. I was like curious about that show, and I went to the IMDb and read the thing, and it like gave away the whole thing. And I was like, oh great. It like totally dampened my my excitement for it. I don't know if they just assume everyone knows the story or has read the book or something, but if it's a true crime show, like, let's not give away what happens in the IMDb synopsis. Thanks. I'll still watch it though. Gives me True Detective vibes, which I am here for. Dun, dun, dun. Okay, so there wasn't anything in these, but I wonder if it still wants them in a box anyway. Such a great feeling when you find a good TV show that you're into and just binge it though, and you know. Oh wait, I have to pass them, right? No, okay, so I'm looking for more. Or maybe I can just do that one. I don't know. Let's see. See if anything else shows up. We are scanning. Looking for fossils. But I really recommend Severance on Apple. Really, really good show. Really catches these like mysterious Lost vibes, but also at the same time, if you didn't like Lost, there's still a chance you would like Severance, because it's very different, but it's like that kind of vibe going on. But Lost was a bit more sort of mainstream kind of. It was like ABC or whatever. Mysteries upon mysteries. And I watched like the first episode of this Western sci-fi show on Amazon with Josh Brolin. I think it was called Outer Lands or something like that. That could go either way. That could be like very hit or miss, honestly. But the first episode was interesting enough.
Cowboys. We just some good boys here on the ranch. Uh-oh, there's a weird, like, portal on my land. What's this do? I woke up naked in it.
Like, it's that kind of vibe. I don't think it's actually Wild West times, though. I think it's like modern times, but it's just...
We still live like cowboys around here. We ride horses to the bar. What you doing on my land? We want some of your land. This our land.
It's like that. The neighbors are the baddies, you know, trying to take the land. An old guy in a bed, like bedridden.
I've been here for 50 years, but that's my land. You ain't ever gonna take my land. I got a portal on my land. I gotta protect my land. I wake up in that naked. Uh-oh. I accidentally killed somebody. I'm gonna put his body in this portal. Nobody ever gonna find him. Where gonna end up? They saw me take the body. Now I gotta throw myself in the portal. Now I'm in the future. My wife's here. She told me to run. I was naked. They shot at me.
I've only seen 2 episodes, okay? So it's like, that's kind of like the gist of what was happening in those. If that sounds interesting, you know, check it out. I don't know. What are we doing? Troweling? Is this the thing? Sorry, what happened there? I like moon knighted. Lost track of time. I'm back. I think we're digging here. Inspect the stone. Why can't I gotta dig it out some more? There we go. Oh, I see another bone in there. Wait. I have to get out of here. What a wild 2 episodes, right? So much happened. Surely the only way is down from there. How do I... Do we have to, like, dig our way up? There we go. You'd think they'd give me a ladder or something. Okay. Remove the muck. It would be cool to live that kind of life, right, though, where you just ride a horse. Said as someone who's never ridden a horse and would probably be too scared to ride one, but if I grew up with it, then I would be comfortable with it.
In some small town.
Just riding your horse everywhere, that'd be pretty dope. Is that like how city kids have bicycles?
Out here we have horses.
No bone. Well, there's a bone in this one down here, I think. Saw a little bit peeping out. Let's go have a look. Which one was it? This one. There we go. Ba-dum bump, ba-dum bump, ba-dum. Can I grab it? Not yet. Take it out a little more. Good night. Have a good night. Hollow Knight. I actually started that up for the first time recently. I've owned it for the longest time and I've never played it. And I played like 20 minutes or so and then I just thought, I do really like this, but it's not where my head is at right now. But I've heard it's amazing for such a long time that I want to get to it at some point, you know? Why can't I get this? Do I have to pick stuff here? Or am I... There's definitely a bone there. Have to dig around like a little mole. Hello, Moley. Poop, poop. There we go. From the other side. Yeah, this harder stuff is pickaxe, right? There we go. Good call. Well done. You're promoted. Assistants hired. Nice. Grab that. Let's get out of here with it. Oh. Out we go. Running for lunch. Have a good lunch. Ba-bum, ba-bum. There is a bone.
I found a bone on my land. That's my land. That's my bone. No, it ain't your land. It's my land.
Let's take this back. I want to see that show. People fighting over fossils on their land. One Night Stand, a cute indie game. I don't think I have. What's it about? I'm it's half ringing a bell, but I'm not sure. There we go, through this. Which one was it? This one, right? Oh no, wait, put plaster on it. Which one is it? That one. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, yes, yes. Unknown species, unknown bone. Unknown Bone would be a great name for a band, right?
Please welcome to the stage, Unknown Bone.
Do it. We are Unknown Bone. They're from the north. We are Unknown Bone. Here playing our very first stadium concert arena tour. This is from our debut album, FEMA. Ah, here it is. Wait, there's more than one here. Well, let's just dig here. Our #1 hit. Hit it, boys! Tailbone's connected to the backbone. Backbone's connected to the hip bone. Don't even know how the song goes. It's fine. It's our own version. It's fine. Let's see. Beep, beep, beep. There. We got it. Did you guys do the hokey cokey when you were younger? I want a documentary on something like that. You know, that's the kind of thing that would be great to just watch mindlessly. The origins of the hokey cokey. How did this song take the world by storm? We caught up with the writer of the hokey cokey, breaking his silence after 100 years. Well, we're in this band and we were called Unknown Bone and it just wasn't going anywhere, so in my free time I was writing songs, little ditties on my own. We have a bone. Yes, we do. Shell, thank you so much for the 22 months. I appreciate it. I hope you've been doing awesome. Thank you very, very much for the resub. A tutu. Ballerina bear. Okay. Can I put it in the same box? Or is this a different box? I don't know. We should have 3 things now, right? What is that? Oh, that scared me. I saw the shadow and I suddenly thought there was like a pterodactyl coming to get me. Did I put this back on here and I didn't mean to? What did I do with the other one? I can't remember. We must have enough now. Dun, 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 dun. Excuse me. It's about someone having a one-night stand trying to find out what happened. Multiple endings, beautiful imagery. It's very short. Cool. I love short little indie stories. Alright, let's go back to the hub. Oh, fine. Fine. No. Uh-oh. I think it's this way. Oh, oh, oh. Mine office? That doesn't sound right. Is there a map? Let's go back the way we came. Let's go this way. Oh, I'm just enjoying his goofy steering wheel work. Oh, the hokey cokey. Oh, the hokey cokey. Was it called the hokey cokey? Am I the only one that thought it was hokey cokey? Is it actually hokey pokey? I don't know. This might just be some misremembered thing. Tonight, in a 1-hour special, we get to the bottom of the hokey cokey, or was it the hokey pokey? Finally, the composer breaks his silence on exactly what he meant by putting it in and shaking it all about. Is it up there? It looks right up there, right? But how do I get up there? Ah, okay, so it's kind of like blocked off. I mean, calling it the hokey pokey is even worse, given the lyrics, to be honest. I'd rather it was called the hokey cokey. Right, we're back. Boom. Oh, wait, I need that one. There you So now we have these three. Open tablet, leave this area, transport the findings to the museum. Open the tablet to leave this area. Okay, travel. Ah, museum. Yes. Let's go. Nice.
It didn't take me long to get to the museum, but even though the trip was quick, I couldn't stop thinking about the job. I was constantly preoccupied with collecting and preparing dinosaur bones. When I arrived at the museum's lab, it was time to start cleaning what I had found. It was a fascinating experience. It required a lot of time and attention. But the result was always worth the effort.
Fossil cleaning. Move the small crates to the cleaning station. Remove the plaster, extract the fossils using available tools. After extracting the fossil, make a decision who should clean this set of bones, you or a museum employee. Clean the bones by hand, pay attention to the game controls in the upper left corner. Okay. This is the museum. Wow, what a pretty neighborhood. Right on a main road, though. Wouldn't be a very good place to have any pets. Exhibition room. Okay, so we brought these crates back, right? Where are they? Wait, where are the crates? It's in here. Aha, okay. To the cleaning station. Boop. Why does it seem so quiet? Let me put it back up in here. There you go. Unsettling silence. Oh, we're at the dentist. Take the plaster off. This is how they take plaster off, right? If you break your leg or something. I've never broken a bone, but don't they have to saw it off? That must be kind of scary, especially if you're a kid and you're just there with your arm and they're like, alright, now hold still. Ding, 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 ding. I'd be bawling. There we go. Have you broken a bone? Yes or no? Little straw poll. I have not broken a bone, as far as I know. I've definitely, like, injured myself here and there, but touch wood, I have not broken a bone yet. There we go. I was a cautious child. A sensible loser. Ginger, thank you so much for the tier 2. Another 23 monthers. So many 23 month resubs today. I appreciate it. And thank you for being a super sub. Wow, lots of never. I thought the no's would be in the minority. But actually most people have not. Ooh, broke your wrist when you were 6. That's a rough one. Let's clean this manually. Ooh. Oh. Oh, satisfying. Which bone would I want to break if I did? Oh my gosh, probably like your pinky toe or something. Whatever's the least painful, honestly. I've had a couple of concussions. Just so you know, anytime you make fun of how I pronounce things, it's because of my concussions, okay? There we go, that was satisfying. Now we brush them. Banged my head. As you would expect. If you've spent any amount of time with my content, I suppose. That might be a fair assumption that I've banged my head a few times. Ah, there we go. Ooh. This is sort of like a mini sort of power wash sim. Fell off a motor scooter, fractured your wrist. You know what? The same thing happened to my friend. He literally just like hit oil in the road and flew over the top and ruined his wrist. And he still has like metal in there, metal rods and stuff. And he liked to play guitar. And I think it would start to like hurt after a while and stuff, which would suck, you know? I guess that's kind of common. We are being paleontologists. I am Ross Geller meets Indiana Jones, finding some fossils. And we've been out on the dig site. And now, trying to brush these bits. Can I rotate this though? Because it's zoom in, zoom out. There we go. Rotate. Ah, wonderful. So I'm going to get these red bits. Nice. Pivot. Beautiful. What's this thing? Poison spray. Yeah, I nearly started to ride a motorbike, but my parents, who both ridden motorbikes like most of their life, my dad most of his life more so than my mum, but both of them were like, no, it's a bit dangerous, like you will come off at some point, so like unless you want that, we'd rather you kind of didn't. I was like, okay. I was like, yes, I don't want to do it anymore. Sounds like a terrible idea. Because it's just one of those things, because it's really the problem with bikes is other people. I don't know, anyone who's like ridden that hasn't come off once or like had some sort of close shave, it's just, especially around London, people are just maniacs. There we go. What does this thing do? It's like getting, that's, I don't know, like cleaning it still? But what would that be that would be on it? This feels like it would be so abrasive to do to like a fossil, an old bone. Removing rock matrix, it says. Interesting. I felt like I didn't finish that one. No. Nephew just broke his wrist, has a plate forever, it's so bad. What you want to do is just like get him to watch the X-Men movies and just be like, look, you're just like Wolverine now. Make it cool, you know? You're like, right, weekend movie nights. First up, X-Men. Followed by Logan. Tomorrow night, Terminator 2, Judgment Day. Look, you just passed a part of Skynet now, it's fine. It's got a adamantium bone. Yeah, it's just the first step to you becoming a superhero, it's fine. Most things are just how you frame them. It's all part of the rich experience of life. What am I doing now? Cleaning small sediment. Now we know why everyone thought Ross was boring. Ross was like the most boring character as well in terms of the show until very late on when they just made him completely, absolutely psychotic, like an absolute lunatic, and then he was hilarious. When they really lent into that. I never actually watched the reunion. But then I haven't even seen like the last 2 or 3 seasons of Friends, even though in the 90s I really liked that show. Kind of fell off of it at some point. As you do when anything's that long. Far too many seasons. Any show that was like that, once you get past 6 seasons, I don't have the attention span, I don't have the energy to stick with you for that long, honestly. Even shows I loved, like Buffy, I fell off of with at a certain point. I just, you know, in the old days where things weren't as limited in the, like the Netflix era of like, hey, it's 10 episodes and we're done. Back when networks were squeezing 26 episodes into a season and you're on like the 7th season, it's like, I've seen it all, I'm done. What more do you have to say? Oh, there's a little bone hiding here. There we go. Now we give him a little zhuzh. A little zhuzh of water. What's the longest series you guys have watched? Like the most seasons or the longest episodes? Mine's got to be like... maybe The Sopranos, that's pretty long. Lost was pretty long. I've seen every Lost episode. When you finish cleaning and assembling the set of bones, choose what you want to do with it. Take it from the stand, put it into the skeleton, store it in the museum's storeroom, which you manage using the Knowledge tab. After cleaning and connecting skeleton pieces, proceed to complete the entire dinosaur. Okay, there's just like so much more to this game than I thought. Use a pallet jack, pick up the crate with the complete skeleton, take it to the highlighted spot in the exhibition hall, place it on display. Once you place the box in the correct location, switch to exposition editing mode? Why? What am I doing? Put the skeleton together first, I guess. There we go. This game's so quiet. I need a little bit of music in the background or something. Staceface, hello, welcome. Glad you could join us. Wait, let me see what people are saying here. Hang on. Oh, Scrubs. I feel like I would enjoy Scrubs if I went back. I've only ever seen a few episodes. Just rewatched all of Buffy. Nice. I feel like they did a remaster at some point, right? Smallville. I kind of wish I'd watched Smallville. Looking back, seems like it was a cool show. Supernatural, I haven't seen. Doctor Who, that's a long one. ER. I never got into ER, but I love me some Grey's Anatomy. Doctor Who, The Simpsons. Simpsons been going forever, isn't it? Does anime count? For sure, yeah. Scrubs, Friends, Smallville, Supernatural, The Simpsons, missed a lot of episodes. All My Children, General Hospital, Dragon Ball Z, Fairy Tail, Supernatural, One Piece. People love Supernatural, right? I think I watched one episode once, because chat kept telling me to watch it. I watched like the first one, I was like, yeah, it's cool. But I never watched it anymore. X-Files I watched for a long time. I never even finished the X-Files, actually. I'm just like pretty bad at finishing stuff, honestly. Like I say, streaming and content creation is the longest I ever like committed to anything, to be honest with you. Everything else, kind of like do it for a while and then go, done now. Done with that show now. Where do you want to send this part? Grab it. Let's carry it. There it is. Making a Gallimimus, probably. Gallimimu. A Jeff. Okay, next bone. Dun, 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 dun. We'll finish up this dino and then we'll do another game. What? There we go. So we got a few to check out tonight. Yeah, I see clips from Scrubs and I really like it, but I've only ever seen a few. It was kind of like I think it was on around the same time as something else that I preferred to watch. Back when you actually had to catch stuff when it was on. Or record it. Fresh Prince was my get home from school TV shows were Fresh Prince, Buffy, and Star Trek Next Generation. Like those were my sort of 6 PM to like 7 or 8, depending on the day, like shows that I would watch. So good. I can remember being so bored in those hours before that. Where to move the fossils? Manual clean. There we go. Is there still stuff? I feel like I've asked this before, but I can't remember. Is there still like something that kids watch like collectively? Like, you know, Saturday morning TV? When you would wake up and go and watch the same stuff and it would be like a show, right? With all the cartoons as part of the show with the hosts and things. Does anything like that exist anymore? Or do kids just like wake up and watch YouTube? And like put Netflix on? So they're not really like having a collective experience anymore. Whereas for us, like growing up, you always knew, right? It was like, oh, I put this on, and at some point, like they're going to show an X-Men cartoon, and then that cartoon, oh, I don't like this one that's on now, but if I wait, they're going to show something else. Because live TV is just kind of dead, right? Clean these off. Oh yeah, Peppa Pig is huge. Peppa Pig. Excuse me. Oh. You're my age. Yeah, I get that in comments sometimes. I'm like, the references. We found a fossil. Here's one. Brush him down. We got him. Here we go. Cleaning. This bit's the most tedious, right? Scrub-a-dub-dub. How do I... Need a little rotation here, I think. Here we go. I love The Young Ones. That is one of my all-time favourite British TV shows. Neil, orange peel. The People's Poet. I used to watch those all the time. That and Bottom were amazing. Honestly, anything Rick Mayall and Ade Edmondson was fantastic. Why won't this clean? There we go. Okay, so the brush is like off my mouse, but I can still do it. Okay. Spray, spray, spray. Clean, clean, clean. Satisfying sounds. ASMR. Fossil ASMR. It's actually why I like the Disney Plus thing of releasing stuff weekly. It's just that little, brings that little bit of nostalgia back for like excitement for waiting weekly for a show that you don't get when the whole season drops and you just binge the whole thing. Even though it's frustrating sometimes, I kind of enjoy it a little bit. Same with when I was watching Severance on Apple, just like waiting weekly for that next one, and when it finished, like that feeling of, oh no, I want the next one now, is like actually a really nice feeling. When it's done right, when the shows handle that right and they like pay off next week. It's a pretty good feeling. Let's zoom in a bit far away here. Zoom is what? W, okay. Close to the bone. Skirt, skirt, skirt. Send to fossil preparation room. So I wonder if we, maybe with the next one, try and get them to automate this and get an employee to do it. See how that works. Have to watch stuff all at once to avoid spoilers these days? Yeah, that sucks, honestly. Especially being on TikTok or anything. As soon as anything Marvel comes out, people just trying to use it for content and clicks, and it's so frustrating. Leaks. I can't stand leaks. Leaking things. Like, let people enjoy stuff. There's like this really murky grey area where leaks and spoilers have become like part of the discussion, and it's like, that should, no. Like, if you're a movie and like Marvel creator or something, I just can't believe that people discuss them so openly. It's not the intention of the studio to like have that stuff, you know? Stop ruining the experience. I don't even like seeing trailers. I just want to know the basics and then go in blind and see it.
Kids today, let me tell you. Spoilers. In my day, stuff came out in the Americas years before it aired here. It had already been on.
That could never happen.
During the war,
I feel like I'm watering plants. Oh, we got a little leggy. Got a little leggy. Yes, we do. Milk. Rank. I do love TikTok. TikTok's amazing. That's just some creators. I mean, when those people pop up, I just block them, so it's fine. I'll get them all someday.
So happy I can
Bloody
support.
whack-a-mole.
Found you 2 months ago and watched almost every video I could find.
Thank you.
Your humor makes me laugh, and as a US citizen in the South growing up on British TV, my
There we
mom
go.
made me laugh even more at your jokes. Bless you, friend.
The way Brian delivered that entire thing though. Thank you, Staceface, for 100 biddies for the support. I appreciate it. Very kind. Glad you found us. There you go. Little toe bones. Toblerones. Got him. Or is this an arm? It's an arm. I mean, it's kind of a leg. It's on 4 of them. Okay, now it's the head. Let's see if we can automate this one. There you go. Clunk. Okay, pop that on here. Enter the station. I didn't even get an option. Okay, bloody. Alright. This is just like having a real job now. Alright, see how quick we can do this. I just want to complete a dino and put it on display. That's the goal, and then we get to play something else. Cut him out. Oh. Yeah, still waiting for the next Game of Thrones book. Which isn't the next one not even the last one though? There's like 2 more. Absently minded, smashing with a hammer. What have I missed? Where's the... Ah, there it is. Okay. Manual clean, fossil preparation room, museum storage. So, there was a way for me to tell them to do this, right? Is it fossil preparation? That we can then... Preparation room, okay. Ah, wait, they're cleaning it. Ah, look at that. So if you don't want to do it every time, you can bung it in there, and then it will just do that. That's cool. Okay, good, 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 good. It's been so long. I want him to just... I want to feel the sass through the next book, that you can just tell that he hates what they did with the show. And it's suddenly just really basically written in a massive font. In Comic Sans. You just open it up and it's like, yeah, they marched to the fish place. I forget what it's called. It's a fish flag. Up in the Erie, something happened. I don't know. This person died, that person died at the end. Press E to place bones on table. Assemble. Dinosaurs! Assemble. That is a long old neck. And a little beaky head. Little eye bones. Scary. Why don't they do like night at the museum, but it's dinosaurs? That'd be dope, right? Chased by fossils.
The museum I was doing my internship in was getting ready for renovation. I was afraid my classes were about to be cut because of that. I couldn't have been more wrong about this one. Turns out, the exhibition hall was being revamped, and I was asked to participate in the redecoration. But that's not all of it. We were also given a second complete skeleton of Orthothomimus. 2 dinosaurs for 1 display? Well, let's just say, all the pictures of dinosaur life I'd studied as a kid came to life in my head. I decided to just give in to my imagination.
Next phase. Find pallet jack, pick up box. I'm liking how this is this whole story of this person's career rather than just... I thought I was just going to be driving around and digging up bones, but... the whole little thing with the cutscenes and stuff is pretty cool. Pick up box. Aha, there we go. Where am I taking it? Down here? Boop. Boop. Unload. Use the touchscreen to start the interior and exhibition design. Ah, this thing. I feel like I'm on skis. Drive this thing back. It'd be fun. Emotional dream realization music. Did you ever have a dream where you... Okay, setting up the skeleton. Take a look at the controls. Change skeleton poses. Alright. Click on the decoration symbols. Ooh, decorating. Rotate and scale every decoration. So we're actually designing the museum as well. Wow, okay. So we have an ornithopsis that we can put in here. Let's welcome them in with it there. Oh, I thought I was going to do the other one too. Okay. I want to turn. Turn. Oh, there's me. I can see myself. Whoa. Damn. Look at that ass. Look up. Look up. I'm a handsome devil. Alright. Oh, I can move it around in there. Okay. Poses. Oh, it's dead. Okay. Oh, it's eating. Oh, it's jumping. Laying in wait. Let's do a dramatic jump pose. There you go. So the kids come around that corner into it for the first time. Ah! And we'll have a nice... Let's have a rocky vibe under there. Give you some little plants there. Jumping out of a bush. This is a special plant that grows on rocks. Oh. Oh. Well, I was trying to scale it. Hang on. What was the scale? Scale. Left control, mouse wheel up. Ah. There we go. Can I do any more? That's as big as it gets. Hashtag no context. Let's put... So it looks like it's really coming out of the jungle here. Don't have trees. You must have to unlock them, I guess. Water plants. Okay. Then what do I do? Is that it? Back. Ah. Back. Stones. World Cup dino. Nice. Tree branches. Yeah, get some branches in there. Water. I don't want to get into designing water. Dinosaur description. Ah, that can go around this side then. Oh, what does it have to go in there? Ah, there we go on the front. Beautiful. What a great exhibit that is. And then I have to do the other friend here. I wonder if that would like join those exhibitions up. Nice, dude. I like that. Okay. Let's rotate you. W, rotate. Where is rotate? Rotate object, left shift, mouse up. Okay. And then see how you're gonna be like back here somewhere. Dead. Hair don't fit. Right. You're having a little... You're running to catch up and also jump and pounce and stuff. There we go. Like, this game is really rough around the edges, but I'm not gonna lie, it's actually also pretty cool how much there is to it. Like, there's a lot and it all feels a little rough, but it still kind of works. I don't know. I've enjoyed it for a couple of hours at least, so we'll see. I'll always find some way to enjoy a game though. It's rare that I like genuinely don't enjoy a game. I will say that. That's kind of neat. A neat thing to have. Always find some way to enjoy something, right? Even in life. Would kind of suck to be one of these people that hates everything. That game sucks. There we go. Kind of want to put another tree in here. Give me a tree. A little palm tree. Yes. There we go. What a lovely exhibit. Like, honestly, most of the times that I actually haven't enjoyed a game is probably just my own mood, not even the game, honestly. There we go. Oh wait, that moved that. Have it there. Okay. Click on X position to start decorating it. I did decorate it. Interior design. I can like do the walls and stuff in here. Oh my gosh. That white's too bright. Let's have that eggshell colour. Lovely. Ceiling. Dark wood on the ceiling? Are you insane? Have a white ceiling. And wood floors. Look at that. Lovely bit of wood. Get some plants in here. Wow, it got so much bigger. I was like, I love how, what's the point of scaling it? Hardly any growth. And a little bench over here. Can I scale the bench? No. Done. I'm finished. There it is. My first dinosaur exhibit. In the flesh, the Ornithomimus edmontonticus. Name comes from the word follower of the bird. A swift bipedal theropod, the fossil evidence indicates it was covered in feathers. Furthermore, its small toothless beak might indicate an omnivorous diet. Species of Ornithomimus are characterized by feet with 3 weight-bearing toes, slender arms, and long neck with bird-like skull. People going back to the museum desk. Yeah, these headphones that I got to give me audio tour as I walk around, it keeps echoing. I think there's a problem with it. No, sorry, just the person we got to do the audio voiceover does that a lot. He thinks it adds drama to the situation. Right. The raptor. Long tail. There we go. Pretty happy with that. I feel like that would be pretty cool and satisfying if you got a whole museum together.
That was the last day of my internship. A great adventure just came to an end. The night I was packing to go home, the telephone in my room rang. I couldn't believe it. The director called
I was
to
an
ask me to
intern
stay
doing
and
all
help
of that?
the museum build a bigger skeleton.
Pay me.
There was a vacant position because one of the workers got sick. I felt bad for the guy, but I was so glad there was a chance to work in the museum for longer. The decision was a no-brainer. I went to the museum the next day. Although the place wasn't new to me, this particular moment felt different. It was the first time I was asked to enter the museum's workshop. With my heart pounding and my hands sweating, I walked towards the door.
Mum's spaghetti. The museum workshop. Well, let's have a quick peek in here before we finish. I mean, switch to another game. Ooh, it's a big one.
I've got to admit, the bigger skeleton the director was talking about was indeed a huge one. I was dumbstruck when I was faced with the legendary Tyrannosaurus. Even in my dreams, I would never fathom that our museum was in possession of such a treasure.
Wowee. Oh. I slipped off and snapped my ankle. I spent the next 6 weeks in hospital. I missed out on my dream of putting together a T-Rex. Look at all these little vertebrae. Spine. I feel like... Oh dear. Oh no. Am I gonna get fired? I just dropped that thing. Uh-oh. Oh no. I did it again. It's gotta be rare, right? I wonder how many completed T-Rexes there are in the world. It's gotta be, I would assume, pretty rare for them to get all of the bones, to have them on display like this. Right? Does anyone know? Bum, 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 bum. What are we playing? This is Dinosaur Fossil Hunter. We've hunted the fossils. Now we piece them together. Try not to smash them. Okay, which did I drop? Let me get these. Let's go back up. Trusting this intern with a lot, aren't they? I can't get it in there. What? Where is that supposed to go? Oh, do you know what? We need to build the other bits up first, don't we, silly? Otherwise it's not going to hold. There we go. There we go. Pop that in there, and then... What's this? Wishbone? Make a wish, guys. Snap. I don't think the bones on display are actually bones, but castings. Oh, interesting. Secrets. T-Rex is completed. Exit the museum. Okay, let's see what happens.
A completed skeleton of Tyrannosaurus looked majestic, and I had the honor to contribute to it. Yet another beautiful moment that has been etched in my memory forever.
According to the internet, there's only one completed one. Oh.
I graduated from college at the age of 24. I was pretty amped up. My marks were great, so I didn't anticipate any problems finding a job, but that was about to change soon. For the first 6 months after graduation, my focus was to find a job in the field of paleontology, or at least something that relates to it. I submitted my resume for every paleontologist job I could find, but the jobs were either already taken or I lacked the experience. After 6 months, I started looking for any job, but that also didn't come easily.
Suddenly just turns into a grocery sim. We're just bagging groceries.
1 year after graduation, things finally started to turn around, although it wasn't exactly how I had imagined it.
Staring into the mirror in the middle of the night and saying, "You should have been a paleontologist." There were smashed mirrors all around my home. I slowly drank myself into oblivion. Sorry, what was going on, game? I never realized my dreams. I never knew that I would peak in my early 20s as an intern. Now I look around and all I feel is anger. Game? There we go. This is my home. Oh dear.
My grandfather left his car workshop to me in his will. I wasn't particularly talented when it came to the automotive world, but I knew a thing or two, and at that time, the thought of becoming a car mechanic was at least something.
I'm a mechanic now?
He had a lot of weird and crazy ideas. There was one time Grandpa bought an old Russian truck that was clearly beyond fixing, but that didn't scare him. He always used to tell us he'd finally finish repairing it.
Am I going to repair this and then it's going to be my vehicle for going out?
Unfortunately, his body didn't catch up with his spirit, and he had to pass on his little project.
Finding the
I
fossils.
decided to clean up the workshop for him.
Oh, okay. Remove all the garbage. We're just like, this is like a life sim now. Well, time to tidy up, I suppose. Do you know what? I'm going to stick with it. I'm kind of curious. I want to see where this goes next. Stick with my dino life. You know, this reminds me of when I applied to work in London Zoo and I never heard back. Just as tragic as this it was. Wanted to be a tour guide. Sent off my resume. Didn't even get an interview. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Explosion, thank you so much for the 82 months. It's such a long time. I appreciate it very, very much. Thank you for all the support for 82 months. Hope you're doing well. House flipper vibes. It was the right decision, honestly. I would have been a terrible tour guide. Far too much of an introvert. I just really wanted to work in the zoo. And I was prepared to face that fear, but at that age especially, even now, even though I've like talked for like a living for 8 years, in person, bringing a voice out to feel comfortable. Hello, welcome to the tour. Huh? Hi, can we get a new tour guide? I is the only tour guide here today. On the left, you see monkeys, cheeky monkeys. Oh, what's happening here?
Found the lost fossil piece that I found during the school trip.
That's so cool.
Despite it being over 15 years ago, I felt the exact same mix of excitement and joy that I'd felt on that beach years ago.
You know, I love how they did that, hiding it amongst a cleaning thing.
The desire to search for fossils has become immediately obvious. With full force, all my problems suddenly ceased to exist, and I quickly came up with a plan. I just had to put it into action. I started implementing my plan by acquiring a set of excavation tools. This was possible thanks to a garage sale.
That was cute. Imagine if I had emptied the whole bloody garage before that. Just like that was the last thing I picked up. Oh, I thought I was trying to clean this place from head to toe. No? Okie dokie. Paleontology. Check your desk from time to time. Find a paleontology newspaper with an interesting article. In the parking lot, change the color of the vehicles. Get the best versions of the tools. Recolor them. I can color my car. Next to the garage in the museum, see a map on a wall. Shows available locations to travel to. We're off. You can also find collectible items discovered during research expeditions and statuettes received for the discovery of new dinosaur species. I got my own office now. Wonderful. Dinosaurs, they're on Mars. Ah, there's a picture of my exhibition. I mean, it kind of looks like the one I did. I don't know if it's the exact one that I did. My drawings are on the wall. Beautiful. Dinosaur skeletons are waiting to be discovered. Okay. How do I... Swap to newer newspaper. Swap to old newspaper. What? Paleontology world. Ah, okay. Choose a toy. Ah, do a little drawing. I love how there's just a whole drawing sim in here. Here we go. I will draw my best skeleton. Are you ready? Here it comes. They should have a little jukebox in here, a record player. There we go. Na na na. Swirling those big old eyeballs. Need a paint tool. Need a bucket. Nice. Made them too big. He's a hypnoskeleton. How can you rotate the drawing? Fill this in. Oh! Oh my god, it's such art all over again. There we go. Oh, that's like not specific at all. Unbelievable. Mm-hmm. Oh, he's made it even bigger. It's fine, it'll do. No one's perfect. Not even this ghoul. Mm-hmm. Yeah, people say my neck's too skinny. I say, I'm a bloody skeleton. What do you expect? they said, what's that on the side of head? I said, I don't know. Probably how I died. Got a nail in head. I used to work on building site. And then one day, bang. I was hit with boomerang. Oh, I thought that was going to be a nail gun. No, it's a boomerang. It went donk. And then over here, I was skeleton. But one thing they could never take from me was me head of hair. Is that because it was a wig, so it just didn't decompose and stayed with you? Yeah, it was dead good. Best investment ever made in my life. I looked good even as a skeleton in afterlife. It's not a very good wig, I'll be honest with you. Nah, it's lovely, it's dead good, that is. I look well handsome. Wonderful. And with me, I made a little friend. A little skeleton cat. And we went on adventures together like it were Coraline, you know? Through doors. He had a big old bony tail, which were long, dead long. Climbed it once like Jack and Beanstalk. Ended up in another world. You were a very confused cat. This is an artist's interpretation of me climbing said bean tail. Like Ghostbusters, but in rewind. Up I go on an adventure. Look how happy I am, but also a little bit shocked. Hang on, don't forget me hair. There we go, it's very important. I'm a skeleton with hair. There we go, lovely. Look, it's grew whilst I'm up there. I've got girly hair on my head now. That's the thing with wigs. I can do whatever I want, whatever I feel like, whoever I want to be. Okay, good luck with that. Alright, bye. Oh, it's hot today. I'm losing my mind.